Or God Bless America. National anthem, okay?
Let's do that.
Okay, ready? Hey, welcome here. And we have a lot of patriots behind us. This is a phenomenal turnout for Friday at 12 o'clock. Okay, this is a phenomenal turnout. Have I got the microphone on? For Friday at noon, we have people from Rainbow City, Alabama, from Augusta, Georgia, and from all over this region. I'm very pleased, but to lead us off, I want to introduce Annette Jackson. She was also a candidate for U.S. Senate, hardcore Republican and conservative, and she is going to lead us in the pledge. She's going to lead us in the pledge and lead us in singing of our national anthem. Conservatives and Republicans cherish our country above all else except God and our families. We love our country. You won't see us trying to riot and pillage and destroy property like you do, Joe Biden and the Democrats. And what's interesting is that Joe Biden and the Democrats and his supporters have destroyed our country and pillaged our country with protests for months. And they're doing this to our election system. Annette, come join us.
We live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for God. Justice for all. Yes, yes, yes. The national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight of the rampart we watch, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets make glad, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tell why you're here today.
Yes. Well, Debbie wanted me to tell you why I'm here. First of all, I was on the ballot for U.S. Senate. There were 20 of us, and I'm here to support Kelly Loeffler and Doug Collins for U.S. Senate. At some point in time, you always have to support your own, and let me tell you why. Because the Republican Party is the bedrock of America, and you need to clap for that. I'm a 30-year Republican. Clap for that. I'm a 30-year Republican. I started being a Republican when I was 17 at Spelman College, a historically black college. Clap for that. When they say Black America is not Republican, I don't know who they're talking to. I had a father who was in real estate who was a Republican in Los Angeles, California, and my grandfather was a Republican. I am known as the original Republican. Clap for that. There are some original Republicans that are Abe Lincoln Republicans. Clap for that. Yes. There are Republicans that are Ronald Reagan Republicans. And there are Republicans who believe one nation under God. Republicans. Most people, I call President Trump the commander-in-chief. Let's clap for the commander-in-chief. Trump, 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 Trump. There is something about this commander-in-chief, whether you want to realize it or not, that is saving America and building back the infrastructure. If you don't think that the President of the United States is bringing American manufacturing back to the United States, you have another thing coming. If you don't think that voter fraud is real, it's real. I experienced it. It's real. Let me tell you this. America will never be a communist or a socialist nation, no matter what. It will never be. You know what? Because we're one nation under God, and our founding fathers in perpetuity put the Constitution in place. One thing about the Constitution, some, maybe black Americans, think that the Constitution is not for them. Who said? You have unalienable rights by God, and that Constitution, line by line, says that we are in liberty and justice for all. Life, liberty, and property. The reason I come before you, I've been a 30-year GOPer. I signed the Contract of America with Newt Gingrich. I was a national delegate for George Bush Sr., and I spent 2 terms in the Georgia GOP representing the east part of Georgia. If you think that I'm not, well, I'm from Los Angeles, I'm not a Georgia peach which cares about this great agricultural state, you got another thing coming. Clap for that. I must admit, Democrats, you cannot take this agricultural state and do what you want to do with it, which is nothing. You can't do it. We're not going to let you. What we will let you do is go home, and all the social programs that you said that you were going to do, you haven't done them yet, so why should we believe that you're going to do them? Now let's talk about the Republican Party. The Republican Party knows how to govern. Clap for that. We currently hold the governor's seat. I thank Brian Kemp and Jeff Duncan and Brad Rassenberger. It was hard to make really key decisions, but I'll tell you this. If we count every vote, I promise you, every legal vote. When I say every vote, because some votes you're going to have to cast out, because from what I understand, there's a certain mark on every ballot that the operatives didn't know about. So as they count, the reason why certain ballots will be rejected is because there's a certain code on them, like your driver's license. We in America and in Georgia, we knew Georgia was going to be a battleground state, and everybody thought it wasn't. Here's what we do. We convince Black America, we convince Vietnamese America, we convince Latino America, we convince every single race in Georgia that what's at stake is our children's future. What's at stake is we've been censored. What's at stake is capitalism. Of course, capitalism. Capitalism versus globalism. We choose capitalism because anybody who's born, come on, clap. Anybody who's born in the United States of America has the opportunity to come and be in business, because Georgia is #1 in business. Don't tell me you cannot make money and that you just want $15 an hour. How about $5,000 an hour? You can do it. Everybody has a skill. The reason that I'm here today and the reason that these patriots are here today, because we believe in love. We believe that God is love, and we believe that something is rotten in Denmark. If there wasn't something rotten in Denmark with these votes, you have to wonder. You have to wonder. Okay, stop the steal.
Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal.
And from what stop the steal.
Stop the steal.
Stop the steal. And from what I understand, when you tamper with the vote, not only is it fraud, but you ought to go to jail for it. I was at the gas station the other day, ran into a poll worker in DeKalb. What she said to me, they had the military ballot. They had the military ballot that they had to transpose the votes of the military personnel onto another ballot because the military personnel had the wrong ballot. Is that not tampering? That's tampering with the vote. So we need to look at every single military vote, and you know what? Somebody's flying above us. Thank you. Somebody's flying above. I don't know if that's President Trump, but thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Vice President Pence, for all that you do. And let me tell you, we are not giving up. Nobody is conceding. And I'll tell you, this is what the news media did. The news media said that we have a projected winner. I'm an English major from Spelman College. Projected doesn't mean winner. What it means is that you're trying to eject the President of the United States for your choice, and we will not let anybody push the eject button. President Trump and your lawyers and everybody here, I want them to do their due diligence, and I want them to uncover who's been pushing that button with these data control systems. To make this election what it shouldn't be. 4 more years of Donald Trump. 4 more years.
Well, I've had a lot of people ask me, why did you organize this protest on a working day instead of a Saturday? The answer is quite clear. Because there are some elected officials from the state that work in the Georgia Capitol that are not here on Saturday. They are not standing by and protecting the integrity of our vote, and they're not standing by the greatest president this nation has ever had, Donald J. Trump.
Traitors from the inside. Traitors on the inside.
That's right. And specifically, Governor Brian Kemp, stand by our president. Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. Jeff Duncan said, I have seen no example of voter fraud. He's probably trying to figure out how he can take another lobbyist-funded vacation and stay off Dale Russell's special report, but he is not backing our president. And the worst offender is Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. Brad must go. 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 Let me tell you the depths of the betrayal of Brad Raffensperger. I began to call him out in March. He wanted to side with Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats by sending absentee ballot applications to every registered voter in Georgia. And I tried to stop it. Others tried to stop it. Republicans across the state tried to stop it. But Raffensperger ignored us, and he sent them out anyway. This is why we have this election fiasco now. Another thing Raffensperger did, which I think violated the Constitution, is that he agreed to a settlement when it comes to signature match on absentee ballots. The signatures have to match. What he did, he changed state law without going through the legislature. And he said that the signatures on the absentee ballot either has to match what the election board office has, or it has to match what's on the absentee ballot application. Can you believe that? You've got somebody out harvesting absentee ballots. They're going to sign the absentee ballot application so it will match. That is the depths of his betrayal. He is not allowing a full audit. These signatures need to be checked to make sure they match. He is a coward and is not doing that. So Brad must go. And he's... Let's go. Okay, the good thing in 2022, a lot of these statewide elected officials that are betraying Donald Trump and not standing behind him will be up for re-election in 2022. So this is why we're here. We're showing, people ask me, what is this symbol on the hat you're wearing? This is a boomerang. It's a symbol of resistance. It's a symbol that what the Democrats are doing now with the vote steal will boomerang and come back and bite them in the butt, and it will hurt them, not our trouble. This is a boomerang. This is a symbol of resistance to the vote steal, what the Democrats are doing, and there is no doubt it will boomerang back around them and cause the Democrat Party harm. I want to introduce you to a good friend. We actually met on the conference call to plan the first round of tea parties in February of 2009. We've been through many battles together. We've been through many battles together, and she is the head of Tea Party Patriots and Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund and Action Fund. She has done a tremendous job. She's totally dedicated to the cause of liberty and for justice for everyone. She's one of the hardest workers that I've seen. Jenny Beth Martin.
Thank you so much, Debbie, and thank you all for being out here today. We're standing up here because we know we have to protect the vote and to make sure this election was not stolen. Here's what's going on right now in Georgia. A lot of people are asking what's going on. So we've begun this recount, this manual recount, and we're supposed to also be having an audit. I think of an audit as people who are from the outside observing and reading what the other people are doing to make sure it's done properly. That means both campaigns, both the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign, need to have monitors who can read what each team of auditors is doing. We need one monitor per auditor. We don't have that right now. What we found out yesterday is that we were going to have one monitor from each campaign per 10 audit teams. And they have to stay at least 6 feet away, and they're not allowed to look over the shoulder of the person who's counting. That is going to create anger on both sides of the political aisle right now. Whether you're for Biden or you're for Trump, you should want to make sure that both campaigns are able to have designated monitors who can oversee this recount. So when we get to the end of this portion where they're counting ballots, we know that they were done properly and correctly. It needs to be transparent and open. The next thing goes along with what Debbie was talking about with these signatures. We are dedicated to making sure that every legal vote is counted. You cannot simply count all the ballots if we are not sure that the ballots that were cast were actually legally cast in the state of Georgia. That means we need an audit of the signatures, not just looking at the ballot and the end result. We've got to see or have monitors overseeing a recheck of all the signatures. First, between the absentee ballot application and between the signature on file. So the application and the signature on file.
Yes.
And then between the absentee ballot envelope and the application and the signature on file. If the application was not done properly and that signature was not correctly entered to begin with, like if it didn't match but it was not thrown out to begin with, then when the ballot comes in an envelope, if all they have to do is match the absentee ballot, if all they have to do with the envelope is match it to the absentee ballot application, they're likely, if there is indeed fraud in the absentee ballot applications, it's probably the same person filling out both. So we have to check all three signatures, and to that I say, show us the signatures. Those are the most important two things that we need to be aware of right now. Now, there's some other problems that are happening. David Schaefer, the Georgia GOP chairman, and also Doug Collins, who's the chairman or the leader of the Trump recount here in Georgia, outlined those in a letter yesterday to the Secretary of State. I think that if we do what I just said with these two particular items, we're probably going to see there are other problems within the process itself that may also need to be audited. I suspect that if there is evidence of fraud, the place to be looking, one of the places at least to be looking is in those signatures. So we need to be able to audit the signatures. Those are the most important things that people here and around the state of Georgia need to do. So what do you do about it, right? You're watching this, maybe you're watching it on from around the country, or maybe you're watching it from right here in Georgia. If you're in Georgia, we need two different things. One, call the Secretary of State's office and demand one monitor per auditor. The other thing is to demand for them to show us the signatures. Those two things, call and demand it, melt their phone lines if you're here in Georgia. Also, if you're here in Georgia and you're able to volunteer, you can sign up to volunteer. And we may need people who are able to do that throughout this process. Some of the volunteer activity may just be bringing in Coke and drinks and water and whatever else to the people who are inside doing the recounts. But we need to make sure that they've got all the support from the outside so they can stay in there monitoring and watching on our behalf. And then they also will need monitors. Those people have to be fully vetted. They've got to be vetted. I want them vetted if they're standing there on behalf of the Trump campaign watching out for my vote. I'm sure the Biden campaign would feel the same way. I think what I'm saying right now, it's important to understand, I'm looking at this as a Georgian and as an American and making sure that what we do at the end of this is fair for all parties. At the end of the last election, the Democrats had a lot of complaints. If we get to the end of this one and we have a lot of complaints, I think you're going to wind up with the vast majority of the citizens of Georgia who have lost faith in our election system. We cannot let that happen. The only way to get through to the end of this is to make sure it's a transparent, open process and that it is done right and that every legal vote is counted. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny Beth. Thank you, Jenny Beth. Thank you to everyone coming out here today. Before I introduce the next speaker, I want to remind everybody and any elected officials that are listening to us, that is the people's house. And we own the dome. Can I hear everybody say, we own the dome. We own the dome. You answer to us. We don't answer to you. We voted you in, and by God, we can vote you out in 2022. I want to introduce you to a man that I've known and been a fan of for a long time. It's John Fredericks. He has a very popular radio show, and the good thing is he's just moved his station here to Atlanta. So we have a very, very strong conservative that has a talk show, and I'm very proud to introduce you to John Fredericks.
Hey, thank you very much. What a great crowd. I want to thank Debbie Dooley and Jenny Beth Martin and all of you for all your work, your warriors in this battle for just truth and freedom. The truth, my friends, will set you free. That's what we're after. The truth will set you free. What is going on right now with your Secretary of State, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, Brad Raffensperger, the recount audit that they're putting on is a complete and utter sham. This is a phony recount. This is not even real. They're only allowing one person for every 10 teams in observation. That means you can only watch 10% of the counting or the audit. We're asking for a one-on-one relationship. We'll supply the people. We'll pay them. No cost to the state. Why won't they let us watch the recount? Ask yourself that question. Why? They're stealing it. Secondly, second thing is, this is supposed to be a legitimate audit where you check the signatures on 1.2 million mail-in ballots. Are the signatures accurate? Is the address accurate? Does the people exist? Are they dead? Are they registered somewhere else? Did they properly fill it out? All of these things were supposed to be in the audit. The Republican Secretary of State, nothing. He's not allowing that. So basically, they're going to recount any of the fraud ballots. Tell me how that makes any sense. That's not an audit. That is a farce and a scam. The only way you change it is by getting involved. Flood the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, with calls. Flood the Lieutenant Governor's office, Jeff Duncan, with calls. And frankly, I want to know where Governor Brian Kemp is. AWOL. Brian Kemp would not be governor if Donald J. Trump had not intervened in his primary. He elected him. Where's he? AWOL. Where's Kemp? Where's Kemp? Where's Kemp? Where's Kemp? Where's Kemp? Where's Kemp? Look, we gotta send a clear message. I've got a syndicated radio show out of Virginia and Washington, D.C. We've moved our headquarters to Georgia. We're in Buckhead. We're here. We're not going away. This is now the epicenter of freedom in the country. If you lose these 2 seats on January 5th, you have no country. It's gone. So this is ground zero. Now, if you want to check me out every day, best thing to do right now is download my free app, iPhone or your Android. Just Google in or just go to the App Store or Google Play, John Fredericks Radio. It'll pop right up. You'll get it. We're in the midst of trying to acquire a radio station here. That could take a few weeks. I'm working on it to bring truth and transparency to the Atlanta market. On Wednesday, the 18th, I'm launching a brand new newspaper in Georgia called the Georgia Star so that we can hold the kingpin of fake news, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, accountable.
And WSB.
The whole bunch of them. The only way you get the truth out is by getting the news out, not the fake news. They have owned this city for 30 years. And we're coming. We're coming. The deplorables are coming. We have had enough of the fake news, of the phony, fraudulent stuff. Why are the entire fake news legacy media, why are they saying over and over and over, there's no fraud? Well, there's no fraud until there's fraud. So let's just take a look at it. What's the problem? What are they afraid of? What is Secretary of State Raffensperger afraid of? What are these people afraid of? I'm sorry it happened on his watch. We deserve a fair count. Every ballot should be fair. Fair count. Fair count. Fair count. Fair count. Fair count. Fair count. Only you can make this happen. 71 million people voted for Donald J. Trump. On that's true. Perhaps on game day, we wiped Biden out on game day. Our people turned out in massive numbers. Look, if all these mail-in ballots are accurate, fine, we'll concede. The Democrats and Joe Biden should be encouraging this, not fighting it. The fact that they're fighting it, you got to ask that question why, right? So look, fake news, we're coming. Download my app. Look for the Georgia Star. Go to georgiastar.com on November 18th. That's on Wednesday. And keep fighting and stop the steal.
He is a great patriot, isn't he great, John? Tune into his show. Now, I'm going to allow a few different people to briefly come to the microphone for 1 minute and say why you're here today. If you want to come to the microphone, line up over here and just say why you're here.
I'm Cliff Howard. I'm from Macon, Georgia. Born and raised there. I live in Crawford County now. I'm going to speak to you in a lot more general terms, but I'm speaking from what I believe is the heart of everyday, hard-working American citizens like these people right here. The most sacred institution in our republic is the election process. It is the one thing around which all of our freedoms, all of our protections from tyranny revolve. We will not lay down and allow this election to be stolen from us. This year, we won't let it happen. It is time for all patriots to rise up and make a stand against what is not only fraud and corruption, but it amounts to tyranny. It is taking our right to select our leaders away from us, and I will not stand by and allow it to happen. We need to let the people that inhabit this building know that Georgians want truth. Georgians want honesty. We have lost trust in our election system. We elected you to run this election system. It is your responsibility to bring that trust back by doing the right thing and doing it now. Thank you.
If anybody else wants to speak, come line up over here. I'd love to have you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kathy Vaught. I'm from Fayetteville, Georgia, and I'm here today because I believe in freedom, I believe in liberty, and to think that that could be just taken away from us like that makes me sick. And I am doing everything with God's help to make sure that that does not happen. And my call is, come out, Kemp. Come out, Kemp. Show yourself. And with God's help, we will do this. And my call today is not only God bless America, but God save America. Thank you very much.
Who else wants to speak? Come on. You can tell the world why you're here supporting our president. Okay. Okay.
I'm Jim Nelson. I'm from East Cobb, and the reason I'm here is same as you. We got to speak up. We got to speak up. We got to be here. You got to show up. You got to do what you can do. Don't let somebody else do it for you. And here's a press release I got this morning from Garland Favio. He's with the Constitution Party of Georgia, and he's been auditing votes for years, about 18 years in the business. He's an expert with the computers and all. But the first part of his press release said there was a download. Let me see. Let me get here right. General election total votes, or vote totals increasing by 20,000 for Biden. Well, at the same minute, they're increasing by 1,000 for Trump. So something went wrong there. It's just one example. But, you know, we use that software program defeat. You all know what it is. It's not the hammer and so on. Dominion, owned by Nancy Pelosi, partly, and also that's the same program that we use here. That's the same program that I think Kemp and Roethlisberger purchased. So we got to get it right, guys. God says Trump won this election. He didn't put him in for one term. That was a miracle to get in the first time. He didn't put him in for one term. He's taking this next term. It's just a matter of counting the votes. He won.
My name's Dan West. I'm from Henry County, Georgia. I'm going to tell you, if you hadn't been paying attention, we got a lot of computer glitches going on here. A lot of computer glitches that seem to go one way. A lot of ballot counts and dumps that go one way. Why was there a water main broke in Atlanta that turned out being a leak, and they stopped counting the ballots like every swing state that's out there? You got to ask yourself a question. You're being duped. They quit counting these ballots so they could bring them in. You know it. They know it. We all know it. And this computer glitch, this Dominion, we know who owns it. We know who have interest in it. It's Nancy Pelosi. It's Dianne Feinstein. And Brian Kemp and Raffensperger bought that last year. And they're not here to stand in front of you to show their face, to defend themselves, to defend the Republican Party. Ask yourself that question. They're chicken. They're cowards. They won't answer to you, the people, because they have their own agenda. They think that you're nothing and you need to hold them responsible for it. Burn up that phone. Burn it up today. Get your friends to burn it up. I mean, from now till this is over, and Donald Trump serves his second term.
I'm Hugh Norris. I'm from East Cobb. It's been mentioned that Georgia is ground zero. I totally agree, but it's not ground zero for Georgia. It's not ground zero for the United States of America. It's ground zero for the world. This is a global effort. It has been planned. This coronavirus is just a distraction and a mechanism to install a new world order. It's much, much bigger than we can even imagine. Thank you.
Anybody else? Come up here. Come on, don't be shy.
Oh, I'm not shy.
Come on.
My name's Mary Bear. I'm from Rabun County, Georgia, up in the mountains. I came down, went through the traffic for a reason. I'm tired of this. We need accountability from our governor. I'm really mad, really mad. I voted for him, and I talked to Raffensperger while I talked to his office, and it's just, oh, well, it's just how it is. No, that's not right. We need to get organized and get the recount done now.
Good job, Mary. Yeah.
First, I'd like to say thank you, Debbie, for giving me this honor. I stand in front of y'all representing veterans. I stand in front of everyone representing veterans. I don't know if y'all know what this red shirt means today. It means remember everyone deployed. And I think this group of people is the most patriotic group and concerned more about veterans than anybody else. So when the future comes Friday, how about wearing your shirt? How about wearing something red to remember our brothers and our sisters that deployed? We got people in Afghanistan and the Sandbox and other places. Don't treat them the way my group was treated. Stand up to them and say, we're proud of y'all, we love you, we respect you. Thank you for the time, Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
I'm Anna DeBlanc. I'm from Butts County. I voted for Trump the first time. I voted for him the second time. I really, really just want to have the truth out there. If there's anything that they're hiding, we need to get it out. I want to have them check the signatures. If you're going to recount, make it a real recount. I won't be happy with the results, but if it's actually been shown to me that the recount was done above board and not just a show or a sham, then I am quite unhappy to accept the negative results. But anyway, at this point, I can't accept it. I just can't, because how can my home state start out as Louisiana? It went for Trump. It's got a Democratic governor. It's got a Democratic mayor of New Orleans. It's a crap hole right now, but it went for Trump. So what's going on in Georgia? Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay.
I'm going to talk loud so everybody can hear me. I'm Barbara Hartman from Fulton County, and I want to say, if you did not see Lou Dobbs last night on Fox News, you have to go, run it back, go to YouTube, whatever. You have to see it. Rudy Giuliani told us why Brad and Brian chose the Dominion machines. Does anybody know? Because the lobbyists for Dominion came in with the machines, and the lobbyist was a former chief of staff of the governor. So, and then Giuliani had a lot of stuff to say that most people don't even know. Hannity last night had on the lieutenant governor from Texas. They had 6 people, experts, look at the Dominion machines. They said they were faulty. You could plug a cell phone into the port, and you could download the information on your own cell phone. But they said no way would they ever take that Dominion machine. So, and Garland Favorito, many of you know him, he and Michael Opitz talked to the governor and to the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. I even mentioned it to Brad. And they still, in lieu of all of the bad things that happened and the evidence, they still chose Dominion.
Is this as loud as this thing gets? We probably ought to crank up the volume so that somebody can hear us around here. We can't get up? Okay. It's on Breitbart? Okay. Yeah, I'm Grady Vance, and brought my family. We came from Augusta. I'm here for the same reasons all the rest of you are. We already know what the truth is, and that is being robbed away from us. And so I just come up here to show my support, and I'm really ticked because we voted for somebody who is supposed to be representing us, a governor who is supposed to be standing for us. He has no problem speaking up for football, but where is he on the tough issues? Why is he not coming out and speaking up? Why is he not standing for us? Okay, right. See, the voice of the American people is being taken away. It's not just one side. We need to be speaking up. We need to be yelling back. These are our liberties, and it's not just one side. We can stand up, but we got to come together. We got to start speaking. Don't be afraid no more. Don't stand down. Don't let them threaten you with COVID and every other rule and regulation down the line. Start speaking back at them. Start saying we're not going to take it anymore. Come on. That's all we got to do is start standing up together. And I know one thing, I didn't serve in the U.S. Marines, I didn't serve law enforcement and all these other services down the line to get to a place where this is it. This is it. I'm just going to surrender and that's it. I'm sorry. You can put me on your list if you want to, but I don't bow. I don't bow.
That's why we wanted to bring the boys, to teach them to make a stand, not to be quiet, and to stand up for what is right. That's why we brought the boys to this. So I want to say thank y'all for this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Hi, my name's Terry Fox, and I'm from Fayette County, Georgia. I'm here because my parents fought for our freedoms and our liberty, and I'm here to also fight for our freedom and liberty so that my children do not have to grow up in a socialist and communist country. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we have more people coming. This rally is for we the people, and so I want we the people to speak. We're going to win this. And if we don't, if they're able to steal the election, it will boomerang back around them and cause them harm, not us.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all one more thing, and I'm done. I'm going to tell you this. You think about this. Donald Trump did not take the arrows he took. He didn't take the impeachment. He didn't take the collusion, the Stormy Daniels, the virus, and to quit on the 1 yard line. He's going to take this to the end zone because he ain't done. He's a fighter. He's a fighter. He's a fighter.
Well, it took a lot of courage to come here, but I'm a suburban mom that voted for President Trump. And we are awake. We are raising our kids to love God, to love our country, and to love our freedom. Where is Governor Kemp? That's right. I am a native of Georgia. Georgia is not a blue state. Speak up. Step out. Get out of your comfort zone. It feels great.
We should be very grateful to her. Thank her.
Do not thank me, okay? I'm a preacher's kid, so I grew up a rebel. And, you know, I am someone that I don't care how powerful you are. We control the elected officials. They serve because we, the voters of Georgia, allow them to. The people that should be thanked are all these people that came, all of you that came, that shared the email. All of you are the ones, so I want you to give yourself an applause for you. Okay, now we're getting ready to wrap up the speeches. One more? Who else wants to speak? Huh?
You let two outsiders speak?
Yes, come on. Okay, when we get through, I'm going to come up and close it, but we're going to walk up and down with these Trump signs all around Liberty Plaza and get reaction from the cars going by, blowing their horns. This is just the beginning. If you're not on my email list, get on it, because I can assure you this is only the first one. This is the beginning. Email. No. The fat lady haven't sung yet. My email, Debbie, DEBBIE, at mainstreetpatriots.us. That's what everybody here is. Main Street Patriots that love and support Donald J. Trump. And we're just beginning. Okay, I can promise you, I'm one of the national co-founders of the Tea Party movement, and the Tea Party will experience a big resurgence over this, and we are going to fight and never stop.
Will y'all let a couple from South Carolina talk to you? We are proud to be here from the great state of South Carolina. We voted the right way. We're here to support you, and we're here to support our president, Donald Trump. Y'all pay attention to Doug Collins. He's laid out the reasons why that recount is a sham. Y'all get on the phones and get a hold of people and make sure you let your voice be heard. We did it. We came down here to help y'all out. Keep fighting.
Yeah, just to let you know, we were all packed. We had the car packed and we're ready to go. Had our reservations made for Washington, D.C., so we're going to be heading up this morning. And we saw the news about your recount. And we said,
They need us more. They need people down there to come and encourage you, to come and tell you to stand up and to fight for this country, because it's not just this country. It is every country, just like you've been told. You think about the people in Taiwan, you think about the people in Hong Kong, you think about the people all over who are dependent upon us to help them. So every one of you needs to go out and find more people to come to these things, because this is not enough. We need thousands of people turning out in every state. We need you to stand up for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, because the other side doesn't believe in that. They want to make lists. They want to see who's wearing a red hat and who's wearing whatever and who's working for whoever, so they can make that list and make sure you don't get to work, you don't get to have a job, your children get persecuted. Just look at AOC. She said it all. That's what you're fighting for. That's what you're trying to fight against, so that we can keep our freedoms here. And we're all in it together, whether we're from South Carolina, North Carolina, or Georgia, or Alabama. Let's work together. Thank you.
Hey, I can tell you, let me give my email address one more time. DEBBie@mainstreetpatriots.us. That's what everyone here is. And we're going to fight. We're going to win this battle. And we're going to continue fighting. I had a reporter, and there's some reporters that are good, but I had a reporter friend that asked me, said, well, what will happen if Donald Trump does not prevail at the end of the day? And I told him I'm a Star Wars fan. How many people here love Star Wars? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. And I told him, I said, you know the scene from Star Wars when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi were fighting? And Obi-Wan Kenobi looked at Darth Vader and said, if you strike me down now, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Let me tell you one thing right now about Donald Trump and his movement. If he does not prevail, and Biden and the Democrats and the weak-kneed, spineless Republicans allow this election to be stolen, Donald Trump will become more powerful than anyone could have possibly imagined. And I want to thank you for coming. Anybody else want to speak? Okay, and when you get through, we're going to sing God Bless America, led by Annette, and then we're going to walk around with our Trump signs.
One thing we have to remember in America is it's the United States of America. Clap for that. It's the United States of America. We are a corporation. We believe in capitalism. We believe in one nation for God. We believe in pro-life. We believe in doing business. We believe in our children in order to form a more perfect union. That's why the South, Abraham Lincoln had two things that he needed to do. He needed to free the slaves, and he needed to protect the South. And what did he do? He protected the South and freed the slaves. There is no more slavery in the United States of America. We are a free people. If we are a free people, we need to remain a free people. I denounce every semblance of communism and socialism. That is what is at stake. So we need to get everybody here to go out to the byways and the highways. Get every nationality that you know to tell them, when you vote for the senators this time and you go forward with the recount, that you are voting to be free. That you are voting to be free. That you are voting to be free. We are not letting anybody infiltrate the United States of America. We're not letting George Soros infiltrate the United States of America. All right? We are not letting the pro-choice infiltrate the United States of America. Black women are aborting their babies at 800,000 per year. That's our economy. You know what that's doing away with? The young male child. We need young male childs to marry young women childs and have babies. Clap for that. The United States of America is the best thread all around the world. We're the United States reserve currency. We're going to stay that way. We're going to institute the gold standard, and nobody will be able to take over our dollar because we're going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. So let me tell you this. In love, let's bring all our sisters and brothers together in love and in education and teach them what it means to be a citizen of the United States of America.
Okay. I want us to remember one thing. You know, you had the first Star Wars movie, okay, where we talked about where Obi-Wan Kenobi told Darth Vader, if you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Well, the sequel to this election is to go out in January and make sure for the survival of our republic, we need to make sure that we elect or re-elect both David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler as senators from Georgia. We can send a strong message that we are watching, and we will not allow the Democrats to steal our Senate